Huntsville, Madison County. I am also the CEO of MSB Analytics, and I want to welcome you today for what is an outstanding turnout for a tremendous event that we're having today. I appreciate it. I'm looking at the crowd. I'm asking everybody to sit down if you can find a seat, move closer if you can, say hello to the person next to you, and let's be about the opportunity to celebrate this fantastic building. We're so glad you could join us today as we celebrate the ribbon cutting for the new Veterans Affairs Huntsville Outpatient Clinic. Before we go any further, I want to thank Redstone Arsenal's Brass Quintet, which is part of the AMC Band, for the wonderful music we enjoy. Now I'd like to ask you to please stand for the entrance of the colors, which will be provided by Team Redstone Color Guard. As they make their way, I'm going to also ask you to please stand in because we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance that's going to be led by the Korean War veteran Hollis Bridges and the National Anthem performed by the Staff Sergeant Richard Scarlett from the AMC Band.
Please join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Left, right, left, 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 right, left, 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 right.
have the invocation by AMC Command Chaplain Colonel Scott Carson.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Glorious day in the Tennessee Valley, is it not? Makes me want to pray. Give God the glory. Let us pray. Gracious God, we are truly thankful for this beautiful day you have given us. And on this day, as we dedicate this facility for the medical care and support of our nation's warriors, we thank you for the passionate vision our national and our local leaders, and indeed our patriotic citizens who have labored toward this effort into the fruition that we witness this day. Enable now this facility and those who work therein to provide, well into the out years, the most professional medical care to those who served our country, protecting our precious and God-given freedoms from those enemies of liberty. Continue to watch over those who serve in harm's way. Bless the Veterans Administration and indeed our veterans alike. Bless all those who support the veterans throughout the Tennessee Valley. And God bless the United States of America, now and always. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges, Staff Sergeant Scarlett, and Chaplain Carson. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce our honored guests who are here today. Please hold your applause until the end of the introductions. U.S. Representative Mo Brooks. That's all right. Mr. Joe Fitzgerald, a civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army. State Senator Bill Holtz-Clark. State Representative Howard Sanford. Madison County Commission Chairman Dell Strong. State Representative Mike Ball. Steve Haraway, Madison County Commissioner, District 2. Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle. City of Huntsville Administrator John Hamilton. Colonel William Marks. From Senator Shelby's office, Kerry Suggs. From Senator Jeff Sessions' office, Lisa Montgomery. Brigadier General Michael Hoskins. My apologies to anyone I may have missed. Well, we appreciate all of you being here for this very, very important occasion. There are two more groups I'd like to recognize. With all of our veterans and active duty personnel, please stand. We want you to know that this grateful nation remembers you and thanks you for your sacrifices and appreciates your service. To members of the Patriot Guard, the DAV, the VWF, the Military Order of the Purple Heart, the American Legion, and all of our other veteran organizations, friends, and community partners, thank you for joining us today as well. And for all those who are serving on the front lines of health care for the VA, will the VA staff please stand? Appreciate you for the dedication you provide our veterans. We know their ongoing care is in good hands with you. We know that you have a staff that's over 100 and you serve a community of over 11,000 veterans. So we thank you very, very much for pursuing this primary mission, and I know that it will continue. Well, I have the great pleasure of welcoming you today, telling you about just an outstanding program that we have planned for you in recognition of this outstanding facility and all the hard work. You know, you look around and you see means of a brand new building, and you'll get an opportunity to see the facilities and all. But all the hard work that goes into it, and we're going to try to have a bit of a program that explains some of that, but there's probably not enough words sufficient to explain fully the amount of effort that goes into it, the tireless hours, the commitment and the passion that supports it. What you're here today is standing in this brand new Huntsville VA Medical Clinic. We will hear a welcome from Dr. William Harper, who's the acting director of the Birmingham VA Medical Center.
I guess I'm finished. You applauded. That's great. I don't think I can do better than that. Good morning. I want to begin by saying that it's an honor for me to be here with each of you today. And by thinking of all the veterans, the service members, and their family members, not only for their service and sacrifices, but also for taking the time to be here with us today. Thank you. Also would like to thank Congressman Brooks, State Senator Holtzclaw, Madison Commissioner Strong, Huntsville Mayor Battle, and all of our elected officials and distinguished guests for being here. All of you have been incredibly busy, I'm sure that, and I think we can safely speak for all of us when I can say that we are grateful for your being here today. I would like to thank the local veteran service organizations and their representatives who were able to be here. They provide an invaluable service to both the VA and to our veterans, and we are glad that they were able to join us. I would like specifically to recognize some people that we're very glad to have here. One is Charles Waugh, who's the state commander for the DAV. Mr. Waugh, where are you? And also William Webb, the president of the Still Serving Veterans Organization. And I see sitting on the front row Mr. Dale Turner, who serves as a national officer with Military Order of the Purple Heart. Bulldog has been a great mainstay for our organization, and we really appreciate his being here to support us once again. I would also like to thank the Huntsville-Madison Chamber of Commerce and the Redstone Arsenal, who have been immeasurably helped these last few months. They have been working side by side with some of our VA facilities and personnel to put this event together, and their assistance and expertise is greatly appreciated. This new 47,800 square foot facility has been a labor of love for more than a decade. The veteran population in northern Alabama has grown rapidly and continues to grow, and will be for the foreseeable future. This new VA clinic will also increase our primary care capacity in the Huntsville and Madison County area. It will bring expanded services and new specialty care clinics to the area, which will serve many veterans and make them easier to take care of without having to go to Birmingham. The new services that are new services and old services as well, primary care, mental health, radiology. We will have a CT scanner here, and hopefully in the very near future we will have TV can't hear me. That may be a good thing. We have a CT scanner, and hopefully in the very near future we will have a mobile MRI in this facility, which will save a lot of trips to Birmingham. We also have women's health for the first time, a dedicated women's health clinic. We have physical therapy here, which has been needed for a while, audiology, optometry, and an on-site pharmacy for the first time in North Alabama. The new VA clinic will also have 293 parking places, so we're hoping that will be. More importantly, though, this new VA clinic will greatly enhance access to care for veterans, the quality of care they receive, and the cost-effectiveness of that care, and reduce wait times for that care. As much as I would like to take credit for this beautiful new facility, it's actually the result of numerous individuals who have been working incredibly hard over the last few years. For that reason, I would like to thank the Huntsville and Decatur/Madison CBOC staff and their leadership. They've been instrumental in planning and developing and now getting ready to activate this new clinic. Mr. Michael McCulley was instrumental in getting this clinic built. Mary Mitchell has been instrumental. Where are you, Mary? You probably carry a chair somewhere, way back in the back. Mary Mitchell has been instrumental in actually equipping and getting this clinic ready to go. And Nicholas Hall, Johnson Development Group have all been instrumental. Nicholas is our resident engineer for this project. Once again, I would like to thank all of you for coming today and for giving us the opportunity to serve you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Harper. Now we'll have Mr. Smith, who will be speaking to us. He is Director of the VA Southeast Network. Thomas, please.
I'm glad you held your applause to the end. You can follow instructions much better than I can. Well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
This is a great day, is it not? Yes. Absolutely. This is a great day for the Birmingham VA, and especially our veterans who are served and will be served by this new, beautiful Huntsville VA clinic. I can tell you, as I was walking around this morning, it has been a while since I've been up here. It was not finished the last time I came through because I've been away for a while. But I was so impressed, and I was blown away by the beauty, by the facilities, by all of the equipment and everything that is here to serve our veterans in the Huntsville community. It is a great privilege to be here today with my fellow veterans, their families, and service members to celebrate the opening of this new clinic. I'd like to take a moment to thank our elected officials, their representatives, VA employees, and other stakeholders in attendance today. And I too would like to take a special moment to recognize and appreciate the Huntsville and Madison staffs. If you are a member of those staffs, could you please raise your hand or stand? There they are, against the wall. Thank you so much. So what do you all think? Well, as many as you may know, my role has been the director of the Birmingham VA Medical Center and its community-based outpatient clinics for a couple of years now, a little more than 2 years. And this past April, I was honored to have the opportunity to be the interim director for the VA Southeast Network, which is comprised of 8 medical centers across Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. So for me, this day is really special in both of these capacities. First, as the director of the Birmingham VA Medical Center, and now as the interim director of this network. As you might guess, our most important mission at the VA is to ensure that veterans receive quality health care in a timely manner. New clinics like this one will allow us to achieve that mission of timely access to care while simultaneously preparing us for the growing needs of veterans in the years to come. The veteran population in our area continues to grow at a rapid pace here in northern Alabama and across our network, making the opening of this clinic very timely and very crucial. Building new clinics are just one of the many things we're doing to improve access to care in the Southeast Network. We've been hiring additional staff, and we're extending clinic hours across our 3 states to include evenings and Saturdays, so we can meet the increased growth and requirements of our veterans. We're also ensuring that the facilities in our network are fully utilizing the Veterans Choice Act. This act, signed into law by President Obama last August of 2014, has assisted the Department of Veterans Affairs in ensuring more timely access to health care and providing quality care closer to home for our veterans. Since I've been in this role, I've had the great honor of being able to go across our network, and visit all of our facilities. And every time I come across veterans, I can tell you the vast majority of the veterans I've met express to me their personal appreciation for the excellent care that they receive from the VA. And that's something I am incredibly proud of. And I'm also especially proud of the caring and committed employees who dedicate themselves to serving our veterans across the Southeast Network, which makes all of this possible. Now, the VA Southeast Network, you may not know it, but it is one of the largest and fastest growing networks in the country. It's currently the third largest network with over 586,000 enrolled veterans, and is projected actually to become the second largest over the next several years. The network and the Birmingham VA Medical Center have been very successful with assisting our veterans and their families with improved, healthier lifestyles due to their dedicated partnerships with Congress, veteran service organizations, our DoD partners, and our local communities. It's only with everyone's assistance and support that we've been able to expand and improve veteran services. So in conclusion, I'd like to thank each of you sincerely for giving us the opportunity to serve you, and I will say for those of you who are still wondering, I'll be back.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. We appreciate you sharing those remarks. And now we'll hear from Huntsville Mayor Tommy Ballard.
To the Veterans Administration, we want to say thank you. What a beautiful facility. And this facility replicates what I heard time and time again. I just came back from the Association of U.S. Army Symposium in Washington, D.C. And there we had 100,000 people, and as they learned that we were from Huntsville, they said, Team Redstone, Huntsville, they do it right. And on my way back in the plane, I was reflecting on what does it mean when they say they do it right? Is it because we have Armed Forces Week? Is it because we have a Veteran Days? Is it because we have a Memorial Day? Because we have a Veterans Museum, a Veterans Memorial, and now we have a Veterans Administration Hospital? I think the main reason that they say that we do it right is because we understand the saying, thank you for your service. Thank you today to each of you for your service. This puts the exclamation point on that. Thank you. Thank you to each of you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I'd like to now introduce Chairman of the Madison County Commission, Mr. Dale Strong.
Thank you. We're honored to have each of you here in Madison County today, and I'm serving in my 19th year as a member of the Madison County Commission. More than 10 years ago, we started talking about the possibility of this clinic being built here. I want to thank Dr. Harper, Mr. Smith. It was because of your persistence, and many of you here locally, this is why this clinic has been built. With about 48,000 square feet, it's going to meet our needs for today. The great thing I can tell you is we have room to expand. And I thank everyone that has been a part of this. The VA in Birmingham, I want to thank you for the service that you provided to our veterans here in Madison County. On behalf of the 343,000 people that have chose to live, work, play, and raise their family in Madison County, we are thankful for the service that you've given to us. To the veterans and all the counties surrounding Madison County, it's going to make our community a better place to live. Rather than traveling that 100 miles, it's going to make a better quality of life for the people, the veterans of our community. We're thankful. We're just a matter of miles from Redstone Arsenal, just right south of us here, providing everything that our military needs. We thank you for your service to our country. We appreciate what you've done, and today our community is a better place because of this clinic. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Strong. Next, we are honored that Major General Edward Daly, Deputy Chief of Staff, U.S. Army Materiel Command, is here with us today to share a few remarks.
Well, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? What a great day to Tennessee Valley, don't you think? I will tell you that being here today makes me proud to be an American soldier and a citizen, and really an outstanding turnout, really overwhelming. And so give yourselves a round of applause. On behalf of General Dennis Elvai, the Commanding General of Army Materiel Command, and Lieutenant General Larry Weiss, who is the Redstone Arsenal Senior Commander, I'm honored to be with you here today to participate in this memorable event. Team Redstone is tremendously proud of this new state-of-the-art facility, and I'm thankful for all those responsible for making this clinic a reality. Many of you here today have shared in making that happen, and so again, for those of you who had a part of this, we recognize everything you've done and are truly appreciative of it. To Congressman Mo Brooks, sir, thank you for being here today and showing your unwavering support for our military and the dedication to our Veterans Administration. How about a round of applause for the Congressman? To our community leaders, Mayor Tommy Battle, Chairman Dale Strong, Senator Bill Holsclaw, Representative Howard Sanford, other elected officials, Mr. Joe Fitzgerald, sir, it's always great to see you. Your presence here reflects the community's dedication to all that we do. And you heard Mayor Tommy Battle just talk about it. Redstone and Huntsville do it right. And I'll tell you, I'd also like to thank the VA leadership and staff here with us today, Dr. William Harper and Dr. Thomas Smith, and you heard from them already. Thank you for your hard work and what you do each and every day. And how about a round of applause for them? Special thanks also to the Chamber and to the numerous veterans groups that are here today representing our great military. Most importantly, to our exceptional veterans, those who have served with valor in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Words cannot express our gratitude for your selfless service and sacrifices that you have made throughout your lives. And so please join me in a warm round of applause for those men and women. I will tell you, there is absolutely, unequivocally, and without a doubt, no more important work than caring for our heroes. And today we celebrate the opening of this clinic, which is dedicated, as you heard, to providing quality and timely care to our veterans. George Washington once said, "The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars and how they're treated and appreciated by their nation." So today we are here to honor you, our veterans, for your service, your dedication, your sacrifices, and for the health of the future generations. Today we're here to keep our promise in taking care of our veterans and providing the best support and care available and possible. While we'll never be able to justly repay you for the liberties that we all enjoy, the sacrifices you made with conviction and without hesitation, our hope is that facilities like this one here will remind you of the unwavering support and our promise to honor and care for you in the future. I often say that this is a land of the free because of the brave, and you, our veterans, are our brave, and we salute you and are forever indebted to you. Words cannot fully express your importance and the depth of our gratitude for your time and service of our nation, and we are truly standing on the shoulders of giants who have placed their lives on the line as they have stood guardian on freedom's frontier. So again, one final round of applause for our great veterans. Again, it's been my distinct honor to be able to talk with you this morning. May God continue to bless our great United States of America, our tremendous military and our families, our veterans, and everyone here today. Thank you.
Thank you, General Daly, for your kind words. And I'd like to thank everyone for your supportive words about our veterans, about this new clinic and all the time and effort that goes into making it happen. And I know I speak for everyone here when I say it warms our heart to know that our veterans are in good hands. They'll be taken care of. They're going to be receiving outstanding care in this outstanding facility. Our keynote speaker today is U.S. Congressman Mo Brooks, who represents the interests of all of Northern Alabama in Washington, D.C. The care and the treatment of veterans are very important to Congressman Brooks. And we thank him for all of his hard work, the time and effort that goes into it, and to make sure that our veterans are well cared for. Congressman Brooks, I'd like you to make a few remarks, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Throne. I'd like for everybody to think a little bit about why we're here today and the sacrifices that have been made by our veterans that we could do what we're doing today. As we're thinking about that, I want to mention some specific groups of individuals who also played an instrumental role in this facility being built. We have Senator Jeff Sessions' office represented and Senator Shelby's office represented. The Alabama delegation, congressional delegation, collectively, we work as a team. We understand the importance and sacrifice of the veterans and what they have done for America, and that provided the funding for this fine facility. They played a very, very collectively instrumental role. But that doesn't say why this facility is necessarily here. Although, again, in Alabama, we have roughly 413,000 veterans that we try to collectively in our delegation make sure are properly treated. We also had locally a number of individuals. You've heard from County Commission Chairman Dale Strong and the entire County Commission and their voice. You've got Mayor Tommy Battle and the City Council and the city as a whole and its voice. You've got the City of Madison and their mayor and elected officials and their voice. You have our legislative delegation, 3 of whom are here. I don't know if you noticed, but all 3 are Marines. With Howard Sanford, Bill Holzcall, and Mike Ball. Now, we're very appreciative of that skill set that you brought to public office as a Marine. I wonder a little bit whether you have to have that kind of combat background in order to serve in public office nowadays. It certainly comes in handy. It comes in handy. But collectively, we not only were able to acquire the funding, but we also were able to communicate a message to the Veterans Administration in order to encourage this location. And then we have, of course, all the veterans who are here, who had to go to different parts of the state of Alabama often to get the kind of care that they merit. And their voice in trying to help establish this facility at this location so that veterans here in the Tennessee Valley could receive better treatment and easier to obtain treatment. And then finally, of course, Dr. Harper and the many members of the Veterans Administration who made the decision to locate this facility at this location based upon the funding and the voices that they heard and they reacted to. So it was a team effort. And I would thank every member of that team for doing what they did. But let's get back to why we're doing this in the first instance. Think about our country that we live in. I think you can make a pretty good case that over the last 7 decades, America has been the greatest nation in world history. No one has had our kind of wealth and success, our means. No one has had the military capabilities that we've had. No one has had the principles that we have had that have had such a huge effect on the way other people around the world are able to live their lives. America has played that kind of role that no other nation in history has been able to play. And you can look back at our foundational principles that are embodied in the United States Constitution, and you can point to those things: freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the kind of debate that we had last night that we enjoy in the United States of America, and the preceding debates that we had, one set with Democrats, one set with Republicans. And we have that freedom that is given to us by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights for one primary reason: that wealth that we have accumulated through our free enterprise process. We enjoy that for one primary reason. We enjoy it because men and women throughout the history of the United States of America have been willing to sacrifice of themselves, to risk their lives for those principles that are embodied in our Constitution. They have done that for themselves, they've done that for their kids, they've done that for their grandkids, and they've done that out of a patriotic fervor for their country. And think about the people who are here today as veterans and what they have gone through on our behalf. And that helps explain why we're here today with this clinic. Think about the veterans who are here who have served in World War II and the things that they faced in North Africa with the campaign against Rommel, or in Europe with the landings in Sicily and other parts of Italy as they worked their way up that mountainous, easy-to-defend terrain, or the landing at D-Day, or the Battle of the Bulge, in any number of places in Europe as we were taking on the Third Reich, or over in the Pacific with the Battle of Midway, the Battle of Coral Sea, or in some of the islands where combat was hand-to-hand, very costly in terms of casualties, in places like Iwo Jima, Okinawa, and any number of islands in the numerous island chains in the Pacific, and the sacrifices that were made there, and the men and women who gave their lives so that we could be here today. Or think about Korea with Incheon, with Seoul, with Panmunjom, and any number of other hilltops that just had numbers instead of names. Or moving into Vietnam with Saigon and Da Nang. And again, any number of places that don't have names, defending the borders of Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. Or more recently, and I'm skipping over a lot of places, I understand that, where people have risked their lives, but more recently, with Kuwait City and Kuwait and the borders of Iraq a couple of decades ago. Or more recently, in places like Kandahar and Kabul, or Baghdad, or Camp Warhorse in Iraq. And the sacrifices that these folks have made. And when you think about those sacrifices and the blessings that we as a country have been rewarded with because of those sacrifices, I hope that impresses upon you why we're here today. But I'd ask you to take it a little bit step further. It's one thing to read history and be familiar with the history descriptions of the things that these men and women did, very brave on behalf of our country. But talk to the veterans yourself and get their own description of what they did. I think that impresses upon us to even a greater degree why we're here today. And I'm going to use my dad as an example. He's 93 years old, served in World War II. In the first part of that war, he really had a pretty good position. He was in the Army band playing the French horn. And he would go along the West Coast in California, and they would raise money for the war effort. But in the latter part of the war, he was a combat engineer with General Patton's army. It probably wasn't until about a decade ago that I was able to get him to share his experience so I could share it with my kids and my grandkids. And he's one of the guys who would come upon these concentration camps where the bodies would be stacked like cordwood, crisscrossed, with the white powder spread on it to try to minimize the spread of disease. And those piles of bodies in that crisscross fashion would be as high as 5 or 6 feet. Imagine the impact on himself and the other men and women who served our country as they came upon those kinds of atrocities. Now my dad, for circumstances that are rather unique, he still carries a Luger bullet in his abdomen, came through his back the very last day of the war. Talk to those veterans, and they have stories that they can share that I hope will help you understand. As I understand standing before you today, why this clinic is so important, and it's a small way that we can repay our veterans for what they do for each and every one of us on a daily basis. So all you veterans out here, this is a token of our appreciation. We can never fully repay you for the price that you paid for the United States of America, but I want you to know that we're trying, and I hope that you'll utilize this facility, and I hope that it will help you some small part in comparison to how much you have helped us. God bless.
Thank you for those powerful words and remarks. Thank you. Dr. Harper, Mr. Smith, if you would come up. We have a plaque in the chamber we'd like to provide. Burks for a special plaque dedication.
Good morning. It is a great day for all of Northern Alabama and all of our veteran family here. I'm glad you could make it. But we want to take a minute today to remember our dear Ed Green. Ed Green, if you knew him, was not only a one-of-a-kind social worker, he was a friend, a mentor, and a leader to all of us. Ed passionately dedicated his life to serving the mental health needs of veterans for over 30 years. Not to mention he took care of all of the VA staff while he was doing that. We all suffered a tremendous loss with the recent death of Ed. Ed gave so selflessly and untiringly to every person that he encountered. Anyone who ever met him would know. He gave everything he had. And he was so looking forward to this new clinic. It's just really sad and hard to be here today without him in our audience. But his daughter Hillary is here today to accept a plaque that we're going to proudly display in our new clinic. And we will miss Ed's VA family, and veterans are going to miss him every day. But I'm quite certain he will never be forgotten, and his legacy will live on. Hillary.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so very much for coming today to be part of this just outstanding celebration and ribbon cutting for this beautiful facility. I also like to thank each of you veterans for all that you've done. And hopefully this is one way of showing our appreciation and our country's appreciation for your service. The doors of this wonderful clinic find to be a place where you'll find comfort, compassion, and help heal your mind, body, and your spirit. We encourage and offer each of you to stay around today and to view and see this facility in its glory. I ask each of you to have a great afternoon, and thank you so much for being a part of this.